Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something a bit different, not a study, but a narrative piece, a story.
Yeah, a really moving one. It gets right into the heart of grief, memory,
Yeah.
that whole human experience.
Right. And our mission here really is to unpack the emotional journey in this story. We want to look at the details, the specific moments.
What they tell us about coping with loss,
Hmm.
about how healing, even tentatively, might start.
Exactly. So the scene is set immediately. A park bench, there's a swing, and a man named Fayez. That's where we start, right in this place of quiet sorrow.
A very heavy kind of quiet.
So let's dive in. Fayez is sitting there just watching the swing. What does that tell us right off the bat, emotionally speaking?
What tells you the swing isn't just a swing, is it?
Yeah.
It's loaded. It's clearly a focal point for his pain, maybe a kind of monument to someone missing.
And the story drives that home quickly, contrasting the silence now with these really vivid memories he's having.
Oh, absolutely. He's sort of murmuring these things, remembering his son, Ali, and they're so specific, tied right to that swing.
Like Ollie shouting, what was it? Papa, push harder. I want to touch the sky.
Yeah, that sheer childhood joy, wanting to fly, it's so full of life.
And then that other memory, just,
Mhm.
oh, it's heartbreaking. So what if I fall, Papa? You'll catch me, right? That complete trust.
It's these specific moments. They're the anchors to the joy he had, but now they're what's fueling the pain he feels right now.
The story even mentions his voice cracking as he remembers telling Ollie to be careful back then.
Compared to how his face hardens now.
Hmm.
You see that contrast physically on him. Past joy, present pain.
And then we get the reason. The source makes it clear. Ollie died at just 6 years old.
Yeah. It doesn't shy away from that harsh reality, and it grounds it in this specific, almost mundane memory from the last day.
Right, the rainy morning, sitting in a rickshaw.
Ali looking at the clouds, describing him as blue milk. Such a childlike, innocent observation.
Finding beauty right there. And then boom, the phone call.
Sir, there's been an accident. Just like
Right.
that. The abruptness.
Yeah.
It nails that feeling of shock, doesn't it? Your whole world just tilting.
Totally. And the impact on Fayez and his wife, Mira, it shows up differently for each of them.
Yeah, Fayez is described as, choked with grief. He's fixated on this blue bicycle he promised Ali.
A promise he can't keep. A symbol of a future that's just gone.
While Mira, her reaction is silence. The source says she barely speaks, just Ali's name sometimes, then quiet again.
It shows how grief isn't monolithic, right? One is expressing, one is internalizing, almost crushed by it.
And Fayez describes his own desperation screaming Ali's name out loud, that primal urge.
Only to remember. He won't answer. That brutal moment of remembering why.
So that's the state we find him in, caught in this really isolating grief. The swing is just this constant, painful reminder.
But then something changes. The narrative introduces, well, life, really. A little boy and his dad show up at the park.
Right, they kind of disrupt Fayez's bubble of sorrow.
And you can imagine at first seeing this kid, hearing him laugh near that swing. It must just twist the knife.
Oh, for sure. It brings all those painful memories right back to the surface. Places hold memories, don't they? And sometimes they just clash painfully.
But then Fayez does something. He hesitates, but then he gets up, offers to push the boy.
Yeah, and then that detail, the boy yells, "Higher! I want to fly!"
The exact words Ali used.
Oof. Yeah, the story says it brings that lump right back to his throat. The pain is still there, definitely. It hasn't just vanished.
Okay, so this moment is key, isn't it? Because despite that pang of pain, the story says something shifts inside him through this act.
Right. Pushing this other child, it starts to remind him, how does it put it? Not of the pain, but the sound of Ali's laughter.
So memory isn't just one thing. The same trigger, the swing, those words can actually start to connect back to the joy, not just the loss.
Exactly. The trauma is there, but so's the echo of the life, the happiness that came before. It's complex.
Maybe the painful memories can eventually, I don't know, lead you back towards remembering the love too.
It seems possible, yeah. And this small interaction leads to a conversation with the boy's father. Just brief, unplanned.
And the father says something insightful. That uncle looks like someone who listens. Just a simple observation from outside.
And Fayez. He actually opens up a bit, takes a risk.
Yep.
He tells the father about Ali, his son, how old he was.
It's not a huge confession, but it's speaking the loss out loud, sharing it, even briefly.
And then he says something really crucial about trying to stop feeling, trying to numb himself.
Hoping it would hurt less, maybe.
Yeah, but he says, the silence becomes louder. That's a powerful insight, isn't it?
It really is. You think about that, trying not to feel something difficult often just makes it bigger somehow, more oppressive.
Exactly. The story suggests that walling off grief doesn't bring peace. That silence isn't quiet, it's heavy. It amplifies the absence.
Avoiding the feeling doesn't erase the pain, it just changes the way it sounds in your head, makes the emptiness louder.
A really profound point. And after this moment of vulnerability, this connection, there's another small step. Fayez shares a biscuit with the boy.
Just a simple human thing, sharing food.
And the boy asks at a picnic tomorrow. Fayez agrees, but only if.
Only if you bring that big laugh again. It's not about fixing everything, but it's a reason to engage tomorrow, a little thread.
A thread of possibility, yeah. Pulling him just slightly forward.
Then the scene shifts back home that night, and Fayaz does something significant.
He takes Ali's photo frame out, puts it back on the table after months.
Which isn't just tidying up, is it? It's like allowing Ali's presence back into their shared space.
Yeah.
Visibly.
It's an external sign of that internal shift we saw starting in the park. And this leads to a conversation with Mira. Very quiet, very gentle.
She just notes he went to the park again. No accusation, just noticing.
And Fayaz can actually explain what happened. He says the boy reminded him of Ali's laughter. He makes that distinction.
Separating the joy from only the pain of that place, that's huge.
And hearing that, seeing him take that step, Mira takes her own small step. She asks, tentatively,
Do you think we could go together next time?
Yeah. It's softly spoken, but wow. It's an opening. Moving from grieving alone to maybe, just maybe, grieving together, sharing the memory.
Finding a way to carry Ali together.
And Fayaz just says, yes, maybe it's time. Simple acceptance.
And that final image. The swaying with the whisper of life. It's not just this static monument to loss anymore.
Right. It now holds a possibility of life moving alongside the grief.
So, stepping back, what does this story really show us about grief? It's definitely not linear, is it? No getting over it.
Not at all. It shows how memory is layered, how the same things can spark pain and echoes of joy, and how revisiting those things, sometimes through new experiences,
Can maybe open a path back to love, and it highlights the power of small things, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A quick chat, sharing a biscuit, putting out a photo. These aren't magic cures.
No, but they're steps, tiny steps out of that total isolation.
And it really captures this idea of carrying grief, not defeating it, not forgetting it. Fayaz and Mira are moving towards carrying Ali's memory, his laughter included with them, as they keep living.
Allowing those whispers of life back in, even though the silence of his absence is still there. It's a delicate dance.
A very human dance. And you know, this story, it makes you think about how we handle any tough emotions or memories, doesn't
It
it?
really does. Which leads us to a final thought for you, listening. If this story suggests that the deepest silence isn't forgetting, but comes from refusing to feel or acknowledge something painful.
Then maybe consider this. What small, perhaps hesitant step towards just acknowledging a difficult memory might allow some of life's whispers to be heard in your own life?
Something to mull over after this deep dive.